Alrighty, fifth graders, we are in our skills notebook. We are going to learn today about inferences and making an inference. So make sure you start on your table of contents. We're going to page 6 today. We are making inferences. Very important skill. Make sure you pause, catch yourself up if you're not done with all of these. I'll do a slow walk by on all of these pages so you can pause if you need to. You have a pretty good chunk of time, so pause if you need that. Pause if you need that. Pause if you need that one. Make sure you're being responsible, taking control of your learning. I can't do it for you from home. That was a big one, so make sure you pause if you need to. Catch yourself up. Catch yourself up. Page 5, context clues. And now we are on page 6. Make sure you're not turning a whole bunch of extra pages in between. I'll put my Sharpie 6 up there in a second when I have something to write on. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. My title is still making inferences. Very important skill. Okay, so you might ask, what is making an inference? And I'm going to tell you. It's two things. It is information from the text plus what you already know. Things from your own brain. So it's information from the text and things that you already know, things that are already in your head. So let's talk about this word, infer, which is the first part of the word inferences. To infer means to figure out something about the text that the author, or the person who wrote it, that the author did not tell you. So to infer, this is the most important part, is to figure out something that's going on in the story that the author did not put into words. So they didn't write it, but if you infer, you figure out what's going on based on what is in the text and what things you already know. And that might sound a little confusing. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's do our example in green. I'll put example. You can just be starting in pencil. And actually, I really don't like that green, so I'm going to switch back to black. Example. Let me give you a sentence. The kids ran inside screaming. They wiped their boots on the mat and shook out their umbrellas. That's a long one. I'll let you go ahead and get caught up. Go ahead and pause because I'm going to talk about it really quickly. Okay, so after you have this sentence written down, you have the kids ran inside screaming. They wiped their boots on the mat and shook out their umbrellas. What can you infer about what's going on in this scenario? Probably that it's raining because we see that they have boots, they have umbrellas, but I didn't write anywhere in here that it's raining. But you read the words that I gave you, so the information from the text, plus what you already know. You know that if you're wiping boots on a mat, they're wet. And you know if you have an umbrella that it's raining. So we can infer, I'll write this in green, infer it is raining. So the author didn't have to say it, but you could tell. You figured it out. Another way we infer sometimes is based on someone's reactions. Sometimes it's their body language. Sometimes it's the things that they say. For example, if I'm telling a story and it's a mom asking a son, hey, did you clean your room? And the son goes, oh, yeah. And they look off to the corner and they won't make eye contact with their mom. What can you infer? Probably that he didn't actually clean his room, that he's not being honest because he said, oh, and maybe he's looking away, he's not making eye contact. And again, I didn't say that, but you can kind of figure that out based on the information you were given. Okay. And then lastly, there are just some sentence starters that go with inferencing. So I'm going to just put a couple of them down here. And here are some things that you might say when you are inferencing. This could mean, so for example, in this one, them wiping their boots on the mat, this could mean their boots are wet from the rain. You can also just straight up say, I infer, or I am guessing that yada 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 is happening. Another thing you can say is, I can conclude that. That means I came to the conclusion that X, Y, and Z is happening, whatever it is that you figured out based on your text. Another thing you can say, my guess is. And then another thing, last one, you can put I know that. And that helps with your inferencing. So for example, I know that you have umbrellas and boots when it's raining, so I infer that it's raining in this story with the kids. Again, this was my example over here. Okay, and these are sentence starters down here. So that is making inferences. We will do an activity with that shortly. Make sure you pause. I'm going to end the video.